Our top story this morning, police are investigating a suspicious death in the Tampa neighborhood of Seminole Heights, Florida. They found the body of one man killed by an apparent gunshot wound. This comes just weeks after a killer shot and killed 3 people over the span of 10 days in Seminole Heights. Police say that they are treating the suspicious death as related to the Seminole Heights killer until they know differently. This morning's shooting was about 3 blocks away from where one victim was shot and killed on October 11th. Since the October murders, officers have received hundreds of tips but have fallen short on solid leads. And President Donald Trump wraps up his Asia trip today with another controversy involving his oldest son brewing in Washington. CBS News has confirmed that Donald Trump Jr. was in direct communication with WikiLeaks during and after the 2016 presidential campaign in the form of direct messages on Twitter. U.S. intelligence officials determined that WikiLeaks was being used by the Russians to circulate stolen Democratic officials' emails and data. In local news, a woman and her 2 dogs escaped without any injuries after flames tore through their home. The Billings Fire Department was called to 208 South 34th Street around 3:30 Monday afternoon. The fire destroyed a basement bedroom and caused significant smoke damage throughout the rest of the home. Damages are estimated at $150,000. Assistant Fire Marshal Bill Tatum said the family is receiving help from the American Red Cross. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Montana lawmakers kick off a special session today to deal with the state's $227 million budget hole. As part of his plan to balance the state budget, Governor Steve Bullock wants to use $30 million from a state workers' compensation fund. But that proposal ran into opposition Monday during its first pre-special session hearing. State Senator Ed Buttrey of Great Falls presented the plan to a joint meeting of the House and Senate Business Committees at the Capitol. He said the state work comp fund has as much as $1.6 billion in reserves and equity, and that his proposal would only use a small portion of investment earnings from the fund. Buttrey also said work comp insurance rates for businesses would not be affected. But business groups turned out to oppose the fund transfer. They call it a tax and argued that money should stay in the work comp fund to benefit the businesses who paid into it.
We are the little guys that are insured by the Montana State Fund. The trickle-down effect will be to the small guys, to the small businesses that are the backbone of Montana, to my folks.
So here's the bottom line. This is not a new tax on Montana businesses. This is a short-term solution to help us resolve our current budget crisis. Montana businesses have funded the surplus at the state fund. Montana businesses will be part of the solution that we generate in this special session.
The first committee vote on the work comp bill is expected to take place today. Going on special assignment, we see homelessness every day, but what many don't see are the hundreds of homeless children in our community. Q2's Samantha Harrelson takes us inside the issue and brings us one story of determination.
I remember I was going to take a shower and my mom came in and was like, "Get out." She grabbed my backpack and threw it out the door, and she kicked me out and pushed me out the door and locked the door. At that point, I felt nothing. Like, I wasn't sure where to turn, where to go.
It's hard to imagine Bethany Taylor's life. She had just started her freshman year of high school when her mother, addicted to drugs, kicked her out. But her story isn't necessarily unique. She's one of the hundreds of kids in School District 2 who are considered homeless.
Last year we had a total of 621 kids. So far this year we have 258 that have been identified. That number is a cumulative number, so by the end of this school year that number will have increased.
Homelessness in our schools takes form in many different ways. It's families living in hotels or shelters, kids living in their cars. For Beth, it was spending a year between friends' houses and motels before being accepted into the Tumbleweed housing program.
As soon as I moved into Tumbleweed, I remember taking my first shower, and it was just a sigh of relief knowing I had hot water and I didn't have like a 5 minutes to take a shower and get out.
Bethany is now one of 5 high school seniors living in the house. For these young adults and others facing homelessness, finding affordable housing can be next to impossible.
One of the things that I think we've noticed across all of our programs is the lack of affordable housing and the ability to get housing if you don't have a rental history, if you don't have a credit history, the ability to even get into a house.
Tumbleweed partners with School District 2 to help these students navigate a life much different than that of their peers.
Some of them have never ever had anybody say, I believe in you and I know you can do this. It may take a while, but that's okay because it'll get there. And so some of them have never ever heard that and don't believe it at all. There is a huge portion of the youth we work with that have had just horrible experiences with adults. So the large part of what's important about what we do as well is just building that relationship, modeling that there is healthy people in the world, that you can have a relationship with an adult and not get, as the kids would say, screwed over or whatever it may be, that there are people that really genuinely want you to do better.
There are Tumbleweed counselors at all of the high schools, as well as programs to accommodate the students' specific needs.
A lot of times kids think the short term because I need money so that I can get a place of my own, whereas long term, it's a longer term commitment to get your high school diploma and work towards that. So we kind of have to balance that with the kids and say, yes, we know you have to work. Can we work around your schedule a little bit? Is there something we can do to help you with that?
Thank you for your help and, what does that say? Bravery and honor and service. That looks good.
Bethany plans to graduate in May, and her motivation comes from helping others overcome, just as she has.
The Boys and Girls Club has been my anchor through my whole entire life. Okay, are you done with yours? Definitely seeing people that were just even and come from the same backgrounds and at the same place, and have seen them go into drugs and alcohol, and just that's their support, is being able to drink and do drugs and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that really just keeps me going is knowing that there are kids at club and other people around Billings and my mentors looking to me and looking up to me, and I don't want to disappoint them. And I want them to be able to look up at me and be like, hey, Beth did it and so can I.
Bethany has made the best of an unimaginable situation, but it's a cycle not easy to break. And for each success story, there are the kids that just don't make it.
When a kid comes and really needs a lot of help and then we never see him again, I don't know if hopeless is the right word, but it gets worrisome. Like, I wonder what happened to that kid. Did we do everything we could in that 1 5-minute piece of time to make sure that they have everything they need to survive? Which sounds very dramatic, but a lot of it really is life and death stuff.
In Billings, Samantha Harrelson, MTN News.
Thank you, Samantha. And if you want to help, Senior High School is starting to gather gift cards to give to students in need for the holidays. Some of the things they look for are gift cards for gas, groceries, or even a place near the school so the kids can grab lunch with friends. You can call or drop off donations during school hours. On to Fire Watch. The Montana Wildfire Relief Fund Grant Committee is getting ready to review about 60 applications from organizations that have requested some $750,000 in assistance. Organizers expect to award about $300,000 in the first round of grants. The committee will give preference to rural fire departments and other first responders that fought summer fires. The fund has raised more than $525,000. The grant committee, including fire professionals and people from affected communities, will score each application. They say the awards could be decided as soon as next month. The latest donation came from the Foley Family Charitable Foundation in Whitefish for $20,000. Now from the music scene, British rock singer and songwriter Rod Stewart will make his first trip to Montana, where he performs here in Billings next April. Metro Park announced a Billings stop for Rod Stewart's live and concert tour set for Saturday, April 14th at the Rimrock Auto Arena. Stewart is one of the best-selling artists in history, with an estimated 200 million records sold worldwide. Tickets go on sale Friday and range in price from $40 up to $130. They It can be purchased at the MetroPark box office or online at metropark.com. And last, before we take a break, Whitefish, Montana got a special visit on Monday. The U.S. Capitol Christmas tree pulled into town on its journey from Montana to Washington, D.C. to its eventual destination on the west lawn of the Capitol. The tree comes from the Kootenai National Forest in northwest Montana. This is just the start of its 15-day, 3,000-mile journey to the nation's capital. It's being hauled by an 80 by 30-foot trailer. The big tree will make whistle stops in 20 communities in 6 states along the way to Capitol Hill. The tree is due to be delivered to the Capitol on Monday, November 27th. Stick with us.